Okay, so this video is going to go over how to answer the questions that give you an algorithm and then ask you to list the outputs. So we've got an algorithm over here. This one would have been worth 8 marks. And when you see 8 marks, you can probably guess that there's going to be 8 lines of output. It might not always be the case, but it gives you a good indication of roughly how many lines there's going to be. So we're going to work through, explain how I would answer this, and then you can either use this method or think of a variation on this, or use bits of it, etc. So to start with then, over here on the algorithm, we've got a variable here. We've declared a variable called total, and it's going to be a number, and we've also declared something called quart, which is going to be a number but potentially with decimal places. So we've started off, we have our variable over here, which is total, and it's currently equal to 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep a note of these as I'm going through the algorithm, just to keep track of where I'm up to. And I've also now been given the value of quart, which at the moment is 0. So this isn't part of my answer, and ideally I'd do this on paper, so that it's not accidentally going to get handed in with my work. So we're going to start going through the algorithm then. So to start with, we have output start of program. So up the first output basically we have therefore is nice easy one, start of program. Now the amount of people that I see that write the word output before it, or they forget to put a capital P where there's supposed to be a capital P, is significantly high, and it's a daft mistake because you're going to lose easy marks. So make sure you don't do that. So we're going to go on to the next section, which is repeat. So we know we've now gone into some kind of loop. Okay, so this could be a while loop or a for loop, or we could just have a repeat. And I can see down here that it's been tabbed in. And I can see here that I've got a repeat line that says repeat until the total is greater than or equal to 30. So this is going to keep going around until our total is bigger than 30. So we're going to need to keep a track of what that is. So first line then, total equals total times 2. Now I know what my total is because I've kept it up here and it's currently 1. If I times 1 by 2, I've now changed my total to 2. So I'm keeping a track of what it is over here. It now says output total space equals space and then the total. Again, it is vital that you type this exactly as the algorithm says. No sort of total equals 2 or anything like that, because you're going to lose silly marks. So total equals space 2. Okay, and it says repeat until the total is bigger than 30. Well, it's not, so we're going to obviously go back around the loop. So the total is now total times 2 again. So 2 times 2 is 4, so I'm going to change that up here just to keep a track of it. We're now outputting the total again. Now I'm happy I've done that line correct, because I've checked it twice. So I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it, and I'm going to change it to 4. Okay, and we can now sort of get into a rhythm here and see, okay, I can see what's happening. We're going to go back around again, and the total is going to times by 2 again, so the total is now 8. So again, I can paste my line and change my total to 8. Still not bigger than 30, so we're going around again. We've now doubled this again up here, so the total is now 16. Now it might seem a little bit pointless to keep changing this up here, but actually if you're changing more than one variable at a time, which this one doesn't, but some algorithms will, it does help you keep a track of where you're up to. So we're currently on total 16. It's going to go around again, and it's going to multiply it again by 2, and we've now hit 32. So we don't stop there, because we haven't done this next line. We haven't got to the line that's checking if it's bigger than 30 yet. So we're going to do this next line, and we're going to paste out that the total is 32. So we're now on this line down here, repeat until total is greater than or equal to 30, which it is. So we're going to jump out of that loop. So now we're doing something with quart. So quart equals total divided by 4. Again, it helps to have this up here because it's not going to confuse you and think that your total is 30. Your total is actually 32, and we need to divide that by 4. So if we halve it, i.e. divide it by 2, we're getting 16. And if we halve it again, so divide by 4, then you're getting 8. So we now have quart equals 8. We're now outputting the sentence quarter equals space. Now, what I would also perhaps recommend you do, if possible, is to copy and paste as much as possible, because then you're not going to make any mistakes with spelling or capital letters. So I've got quarter equals 8. My next line says output end of program, so I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste it on the last line there. So a nice simple algorithm, but you can see how you work through it and how you could apply that technique to a more complicated algorithm as well. before you hand it in, do not forget to delete anything that you've written on there as a note and just hand in that as your answer. Okay, so if we have a look at a slightly more complicated example, you can see over here we've now got a different algorithm. Again, I'm going to keep a track of what my variables are. So at the moment I've got counter 1, which is currently equal to 2. I've got counter 2, which is currently equal to 3. And I've got total, which is currently equal to 0. Okay. Remember, we have to delete those before the end. We are going to have some more variables in a moment, but those are the only ones that we've got so far. So, carrying on through the algorithm, we've got output, program started. Again, copy and paste wherever possible. You're not going to make spelling mistakes. So our output so far is program started. We've then got a for loop. So we've got for j is equal to 1 to counter. So if we just deal with this bit to start with then. So for j equals 1, essentially what j is just a variable. It's a counter that's at the moment set to 1. So we're just going to do j equals 1 so we can keep a track of j. We've then also got, so essentially for 1 to counter 1. Now counter 1 we know is 2. So on your exam paper, maybe draw a line through that or something and just put the number 2. I'm just going to write it there just so that we can see that actually counter 1 really means the number 2. Okay, so then what it's saying is we need to output some text again, and we're putting the text outer loop colon space and j. So I'm going to copy that because we're outputting it to the screen. So we now need to know what j is. So we can have a look in our variables up here and we can see that j is 1. Moving on to the next line then. We've now got another variable being included here, which is I. So I is currently equal to 1. So I equals 1. I'm going to keep a track of that. It then says that that's going to counter 2. We know counter 2 is 3. So essentially, on your exam paper, you could say that actually that is the number 3. Okay, and we don't actually need this then. So you could draw a line through it. So we're doing another for loop for 1 to 3. So we've got output, inner loop, colon space, and I. So copy, outputted it to the screen. The inner loop is I, which is currently 1, so we can say that I is 1. We've then got another line here that's saying total equals total plus 1. Okay, doesn't ask us to print it out, but it's asking us to change the variable. So currently then total is 0, so if we add 1 to that, we've now got 1 up here. So then we go to the next for. So we've done I is 1. We now need to change I, because we're on the next iteration, to 2. Notice we haven't jumped out of this loop yet because we haven't done the inner loop 3 times, I 1 to 3. So I is now currently changed to 2, so we're not at 3 yet. It then outputs inner loop and I. We can have a look at what I is by checking at the top, and we can see that it's 2. We've then got the total equals total plus 1, so we're adding another 1 to our total, which is 2. We're jumping back up to this because we've got next for, so we're going back up to here because we haven't finished this for yet because I now changes to 3. So we're doing the iteration for I 3 to 3, so this is, we know this is going to be our last time through this loop. We need to output inner loop colon 3 because the I is now 3. We're on to this line here, total equals total plus 1, so we're going to add another 1 to our total, taking the total up to 3. Now because we've finished with this for loop, we now jump to the next line, which is the next for this one up here, our outer loop. So we're on our next iteration of the outer loop, so we've now got j equals 2 because we're on our second time through. So I'm going to change j up here to 2 so we can keep a track of it. On to the next line then. Sorry, before we do that, we can see that we're only going up to 2, so we know this is our last iteration, our last time through this loop. So output outer loop colon space and then j. So we can put outer loop and then j, and j is currently 2. And we're then going back onto our inner loop again. So we've got for I equals 1 to counter 2. So because we came out of the loop, I is now going back down to 1 again. So we're doing 1 to 3 again, and it's going to print out the inner loop colon and I, which is currently 1. It's going to add 1 to the total, so our total now goes to 4. We're back round again up here, so I now changes to 2, and we print out inner loop 2. And we change our I up here to 2, and we also have to add 1 to our counter for the next line, which is down here, so our total now goes up to 5. Final iteration on the inner loop, so we're now on 4 I equals 3, so we're changing our I to 3, and we're pasting our inner loop back up to 3, and we've now got to the total line again for the final time, so the total now goes up to 6. We don't need to do the next 4 because we've already done our 3 iterations on this one. We go down to this line, and we've already done our 2 iterations of the outer loop because we've done it twice, so it's 1 to 2. So we're now down to here, where it says output total colon space and then the total. Now we know what our total is because we've been keeping a track of it, so the total is 6. So that would be the correct answer if you were given this algorithm and asked to identify the outputs.